All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Real Real. It's fucking been a while, huh? The boys haven't been around for a little bit. We got a jam-packed episode today. Went to Miami. Have a special guest today, DP in the building, my brother, my guy, nightlife legend. We'll definitely kind of get into what we have to get into with him. But again, before we get started, make sure everyone tune in, like, subscribe, share. We need them shares. We're trying to go to the moon, baby. We're trying to go to the moon. But Miami, boys, let's do a Miami recap. DP went to Miami. Yeah. He's been to Miami before. Yes, sir. Everyone's over here laughing because we all don't even know.
Where do you even start?
Yeah, where do we start?
That's too much.
The lifestyle, bro. Like, honestly, being here for so long and then going down there. It's my first time in Miami.
Same as well.
Like,
you going back?
Yeah, we're trying to move.
Yeah,
we're trying to move. Like
we went there once, and we were like, all right, so should we look for places now?
Facts. I mean, he's the ballsy one that put his name. Yeah, he put his name in the place that we stayed for Airbnb.
Why not? Right?
No.
Working from home.
I seen you at the pool and stuff.
Yeah. The lifestyle, honestly, it's just different. I think the people are more welcoming, like just the vibes and energy, like the venues. There's always music. The women are better looking. Like, yo, listen, like I don't know what's in the air. The men are better looking. Like, you know what I mean? No Paul shit, but like it's true. It's true. It's just good-looking people all around. I can't front. People are going to be like, oh, here he goes.
It's diversity, man. It's
100%. I felt like home, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Like
everyone spoke Spanish. I was like, I'm here.
Yeah. Yo, we were talking about this, and I didn't know I was going to come on air and talk about it. But being here, you know this theorem of, like, white girls liking black guys? Right, it's like, oh my God, should I do it in the Northeast? Right. Whereas in Miami, it feels like it's normal. Well, it feels like there's more people like us. New York. Facts.
It's the warm version of New York City.
Facts.
I felt the same way though,
and that's what I'm saying. Damn. And that's all I'm trying to speak to. You know what I mean? There's more of us, so it feels like we're more at home.
It's very cultured out there,
100%.
like extremely cultured. Even here is culture too. Boston's very cultured, but it's just the vibe is different. Yeah. The vibe isn't cultured.
You can feel it.
You don't feel cultured.
It's very conservative.
Like. Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Even like the food and like the restaurants, like the one thing I will say, it's mad expensive. Like,
it is very expensive.
We spent, that's what I'm saying. Like when we went to Spanish place, they were talking about taxing on the food like $13. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. We didn't get service. What's going on here? What's going on here?
The tips actually in the bill.
Gratuity,
That's the first time I seen the gratuity already in it. Even
I
if
looked
it's
at
a
it.
party or two.
Really?
You know what I mean? Up in Boston, the only time you'll see that is if it's like a group of 10 or above for like a private dinner, they'll put it in there.
Put it in there. Yeah.
I saw that. I looked at it off. I was just like, oh, something's wrong
What's
here.
going
Excuse
on?
me, sir.
We
I don't know what this gratuity is, but
yeah, like it's just because we weren't used to it. You know what I mean? As well as like the opportunities. Obviously we got connected through George and some of his people, and obviously Ace, Jeff, those guys kind of put me in touch with some of those people, and we had a business meeting
Legends in the game.
Yeah, exactly. That put us in touch with some other folks, but yeah, the opportunities, man. Like I was looking and scanning. We went to SLS, like. We don't have day parties establishments here, like none. Like we don't have anything that can.
You gotta think we're one of the only cities in the U.S. that doesn't have the at 5 o'clock like
happy hour.
100%.
How is that possible?
It's
one of the
already
biggest
sets back
markets in the U.S.
Already sets us back.
One of
It
the
doesn't make
hardest
sense.
markets in the U.S. We don't have a happy hour officially.
And isn't that crazy? We're the hardest working. We have like
we have everything.
Yeah, exactly, everything. So why aren't we trying to get into that market with those people with vibes like that? Can't believe it.
I don't know, man.
Can't believe it, man. Definitely the opportunities, the venue sizes. I'm just wowed. Honestly, wowed at Miami.
Let's give it up for Miami.
Miami, dog.
We'll be back next month.
Yes, next month. Actually, next month for his birthday, we're going to Miami. I feel like every year his birthday always lands on spring break, so it's like a time where you know what I mean. It's kind of slow in Boston because everyone's going other places. Exactly, but this year we're gonna take full advantage of taking him to Miami. We're gonna ball out.
Make up for the 26 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very close with one of the top luxury rental guys out there.
Yeah.
Matt, shout out to Matt with MVP Rentals. They're down in Miami. They're about to be in Atlanta. They're
Yeah,
starting. They're actually opening up in Atlanta this weekend during All-Star Weekend, which is huge. And then he's also in Charlotte, but he has the biggest. He services Little Baby, Meek Mill, anybody that comes down there.
That's dope.
He has all the top cars, so shout out to him.
Big time.
I have to get set up.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm saying. We're gonna have to go through DP.
I might have to
tell you,
hit up his
not
line.
a lot of people. See, the thing was, not a lot of people actually know what he does, right? And I was trying to explain to you. I was like, he's a connector, and people don't understand what that really means. But
I go,
plugged in
you said
everywhere.
that 3 times to me. I was like, what is he like? What's
He's
the connect?
a connector, man. The dude can connect. He knows everybody. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything about Miami, but I mean, I'm trying to go back.
I'm trying to go back. Yo, one of the craziest thing that stuck out to me was, nobody is wearing a mask.
100%.
Nobody.
Crazy.
It's crazy. We were walking around SLS. I mean, listen, we all got COVID tests. We all good. So don't come at us.
Yeah.
But I'm walking to the bathroom, and this was at SLS. I'm walking to the bathroom, and this girl who works there was handing out masks. She looks at me. She goes, do you want a mask? And I go, nah, I'm good. She goes, okay, have a nice day.
Yeah, they're not
and just
jumping.
let me walk. Imagine that was here.
Well,
No.
we
We would have been tackled.
We're one of the only places that is still behind. Even down in Providence, it's like open season. They were already, phase 3, phase 4 before Boston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Crazy.
It's nuts.
When I got back to the airport here, I remember I kept putting my mask down because I just got so used to that
I was
week in
looking
Miami.
at him, but like, nah,
And everyone's
pull that
looking at
joint
me. I
out.
was like, oh,
Yeah,
my bad.
My bad.
I'm now know I'm back in Boston.
Yeah, facts, big time. But the trip back, before actually we move on from Miami, our trip back, our flight back was absolutely
It was
crazy.
your classic. We almost missed a plane story.
Yo,
Oh, man.
so I'm gonna try to do
were
a quick,
running.
a quick recap of this. So we get an Uber to the airport, and by the way, Miami airport is massive.
No, it's huge.
It's like you take a train one place, and we're over here like trying to figure out where the hell to go. We get in there, and they're like, okay, you got to go all the way down to the corner. And our flight was boarding at 6:25. We got to the airport at 6:20.
Oh, what?
Yes, at 6:20.
Because our Uber took the wrong turn.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so we were like, yeah, we're for sure gonna stay here. We don't know for how long, but we said to ourselves like, please keep us here.
Yep.
Keep us here for another night.
me a
Whatever.
reason.
You know what I mean? Give me a reason to stay. So we get there at 6:20. We're trying to check in, and literally our boarding passes aren't checking in. We're trying to go through tickets, but we already had our boarding passes on our phones because we're just panicking. We finally check in. We get into the first like TSA checkpoint, and literally he's supposed to check in a bag that won't fit in the overhead, and the lady goes, "Nah, you can't bring that on." George starts looking at her like, nah, I'm bringing it on. Like, you know what I mean? Starts talking spicy. I'm like, yo, we're gonna get arrested
And
at
then
the airport.
I had to hop in. I was like, mira, señora, por favor. I was talking spicy in Spanish. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then she goes, you know what? All right, fine. Put some of his stuff in my bag. And I was like, oh,
And
thank
mind
God.
you, now it's 6:25. Like they're calling our names on the whatever airports. To get to the gate.
Now boarding.
Exactly, now boarding. And so like he went through first in terms of
Like my
getting
bag
off his
scanned
bag
and everything.
scanned and everything. He waited for me. My bag got pulled in with someone else's bag that had to get checked up. And so I'm like, yo, like TSA, like my flight. These people don't care. They don't give a damn. So I was like, yo, I'm really gonna miss a flight. I really gotta get home. And they're like, listen, it's only gonna take a moment. They put my bag all the way back through, and I'm like, did you put it first? The guy's like, sir, you gotta wait a little bit. And I'm over here looking at this dude like, I wish I'd have seen you outside. I promise
What
you.
did he say? He goes, you're at the airport.
Yes,
Or
I
he
was just
said
like
something
they're gonna wait for you, acting
like,
like
what?
these people are gonna hold up the whole flight. So he runs all the way to I think it was like gate B, and we're basically like I would call it a mile and a half away,
What?
a mile and a
That
half
ass
away in
ran.
the airport.
Ran a mile and a half.
And with our bags just running through, and mind you, we're in shorts, like the little flannels and everything, just running around the airport. I'm over here stopping by the little carts in the airport, be like, yo, sir, can you drive us over? Sorry, handicapped. You're just like half a mile away. He got there and was holding up the people talking Spanish, like, listen, like talking real fast, acting like
You good in Miami.
So
good at Miami, you know
This
Spanish.
is what I told him. I go, listen. I go look in the corner. I go, oh, I see them. I have no idea where they are. I go, oh, I see them. I start pretending like I'm waving. Oh, I see them. And then all of a sudden, I actually see
You
them.
see Usain Bolt just like this.
I see both of them running. I'm like,
just going
I
like
actually
this.
see him.
Yo, the craziest thing was I had to keep up with his ass.
Yeah.
Former
That's what I'm saying.
D1 athlete. I'm over here like,
I started moving. I was like this. moving.
yo,
and
I don't think I
finally
ever
get
ran
there.
that fast in my
100%
life.
not. Got on the flight,
But we
and
made it.
everyone literally just looking at us like, these dudes here held up the whole plane for like 30 minutes.
But here's the ironic part. It got delayed.
Yeah, delayed
Got
anyway.
delayed.
So
Crazy.
all that running for that.
Good workout for today.
Yeah, exactly,
Facts.
exactly. But yeah, that was the Miami trip. Shit was crazy. But anyways, let's get into the actual fun stuff. Obviously, we didn't even really intro DP, but DP, nightlife guy in Boston. Again, connector, has his own business. Management. Literally, can't praise you enough for everything that you've done in the city and cultivated, moved into the next lane. Someone that I looked up to and kind of chased in terms of like chasing the nightlife kind of badge or stature or approval, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, DP, welcome to the episode, man. Welcome to the episode.
Thanks for having me. I
Absolutely,
appreciate all you guys, man. And you already know, me and you are very tight. We talk a lot even prior to this. And again, I praise you. And having your team and having that all together, it takes a creative mind to do the things you guys do. So
appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. So tell the people a little bit about you, what how it all kind of started and the nightlife scene, and a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I go by DP. My real name's Dante Patterson. For those that don't know, my first taste of marketing and branding. So that's what I do. I get asked a lot what it is that I'm into.
Yeah.
I'm a marketing
connector.
I'm a marketing and branding strategist. Do a little bit of consulting, management, and with a little background in events and nightlife. And my first taste of marketing and branding, when I fell in love with it, was when I attended BC.
Yeah.
So Eagles in the building.
100%. 100%.
So my junior year, I had this professor, Professor Nugent. And he actually was the same professor when Kobe was going for his degree when they were playing the Celtics in the finals.
Yep.
And this he's a genius. And when I was in his class, my junior year, my oldest daughter was on the way. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, listen, I'm not privileged like some of the kids that go to this school. I've seen kids driving Rolls Royces to class, as classes.
Yeah.
And I'm going back, to the inner city. And I just decided to make a choice. I'm like, I got to go. So I left school.
Yeah.
And just started getting after the bag and taking what I learned at this, at this college, at this establishment, and brought it into my life. My youngest brother, well, not youngest, one of my younger brothers, he was in the music scene at the time. Shout out to my brother Dizzy, but he was very huge into the music scene. Actually out there more on the internet and all that stuff than I was. I was very behind the scenes, not really into social media, didn't have Instagram, none of it. And he was like, hey, you got to get this app. He was like, you got to get Instagram. We're going to push my brand, push the, my EPs, my music. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I know how to do all the other stuff like strategy and branding and what it should look like, the graphics. And so I got on this tool. And I at first, I wasn't a fan of it. I'm like, I don't need it. Eventually became, I use this thing every day.
Facts.
And it was the way, this was like 2013 when it first like started.
Popped off, yep.
And that was kind of my first intro into marketing strategy and branding. I was doing all my brother's campaigns with his music, doing all the corporate emailing, reaching out to the blogs, reaching out to DJs,
everything,
all that outreach. And through that process of being with my brother, I had the opportunity of meeting Michael Bivins, which for most people who are from Boston, they should know Michael 100%. Bivins is one of the, key members of the New Edition, which is one of the biggest music groups to hit America. And at the time, he had Mike Bivins had his group, and my brother had a song with them. He was featured on 1 or 2 songs with them. So that's when I really had the opportunity of like going on the road. We were going to New York and doing shows at BB King's. We did shows in big convention centers. We did House of Blues here in Boston. We did a lot of big stuff in 94.5. Shout out to Pup Dog and them. Yeah. But that's where it was like, okay, this is the next level of it. And being around Mike and watching how he moved and being around a legend like that, I knew we were going in the right direction. And so, one thing led to the next. My brother, music kind of fell out, and I was like, all right, I had the opportunity of getting into Bijou.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this, but prior to working there, I knew the owners and I knew management based on, I used to work at the W Hotel right across the street. And that's how I know Ace, and that's how I know Jeff and all those guys because I used to be the bellman. So I was the person bringing people's luggages and up to the rooms. I done met probably, your favorite rappers, your favorite athlete, like everybody stayed there. And I would see everybody partying every night. I'd be out there like, damn, everybody's making money and shit. Yeah, like straight up. Like, when's my good? Yeah. Valiant cars. Bags upstairs. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. My time's coming. But even when I was there, I always had, a good rapport with the ownership and a lot of the club owners as well. And an opportunity arose that, their front doorman had left. They needed somebody to be in the front. And I took that as an opportunity, like, okay, there hasn't really been, somebody of our, black and brown from our background that's had that type of opportunity and on that like level. Like Bijou at the time is like the hottest. This is before Grand. This is before any of that no Grand and Big Night and all that. Yep. Like Bijou was the spot. Jay-Z went there. Yep. Everybody's been in that building. Drake's been there. So, I started off there with pennies. Yep. And it was just for the opportunity. And I think being in there and being able to be around those guys and being around, George, shout out to George, we're very close. Just kind of shadowing him, 100%. Shadowing the GM, shadowing the owners, seeing how, just watching the operation. I wasn't really, and I told you this before, I wasn't really the guy for like partying. Yeah. I love to see people have fun. I love being around people. Yeah. But I'm a very business savvy person. So my mind was locked in on like, how does the business run? Facts. Not, what table I'm going to have tonight. Yeah. What bottle can you comp me today, owner? Like, I don't care. I didn't care about any of those things. And one of my first night there, like promotion-wise, that really set it off is some of my close friends from my neighborhood and growing up together, they came in and they spent the bag. Yeah. They're like, yo, you're going to come in here with a bang, and we're going to throw the bag. And they put up $10K on the table with no discount. And they never asked me for discounts with throwing parties with me ever. That's dope. So for like a month straight, they was coming out and killing it. Yeah. Putting up crazy bread, and they were like, yo, this shit's crazy. You know what I mean? But the biggest thing that kind of, I feel, separated me from a lot of people at the time, I enjoyed going to the international room. Yeah. With you know what I'm saying? Like, that was me. I love music. So it doesn't matter if it's rap, hip-hop. I love house music. So I would go over there on my off nights, and I was cool with a lot of the students and stuff like that. And shout out to all of them because I'm still friends with a lot of students that have come here and left and went back home. But I realized they were into our culture. Facts. They loved the way we dress. Facts. They had the latest drip. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, everything that was in my culture, they were in tune with it. But they never had somebody who was able to make them feel comfortable enough to come to the Gold Room. Yeah. And so for me, it was like, all right, we're going to change that. You know what I mean? Because they were listening to hip-hop up there mixed with the house music. And then I started to get a lot of them to come down to the Gold Room. And then that's kind of where I went from just being another person in Bijou to, like, a brand ambassador. And, starting to do different stuff.
Damn, man, the resume speaks for itself. You heard the man. But, no, I mean, look, I can't front. Like, I used to go out. All of us used to go out. Like, there was certain people that I remember I kind of idolized, if I can jump on my little fanboy bag when I was a young boy. But I looked at Valentino, Mike Bakari, just because their demographic, the types of clients that would bring to Storyville on Saturdays. I looked at yourself. Obviously, I knew of, like, Ace, Jeff, and those guys felt like they weren't really attainable, right? Like, I never saw them out, but I always saw your face associated with the professional athletes. I saw you associated with the celebrities. So I used to always wonder, like, how the hell do we get to that point? How the hell do you build a brand around yourself and like, associating with these establishments? You know what I'm saying? So obviously within that, like, what's the journey like, or like, how much is it real relationships with these people versus like the clout chasing? Because I feel like that shit is crazy. Like, we talked about this offline, and you can share whatever you want to share. But like, some of these guys, you do stuff for them, and then it's like they want it all free, but also you want to develop a relationship with these professional athletes and celebrities. It's like, we gotta
knock both of those out the park. So for me personally, the reason it starts becoming a thing where they looking for everything free is because, let's say you and I were like, yo, we're going to throw a party and we're going to do this, and this is the price on the table. Yeah. Somebody else is going to be like, well, come to my night today. We're going to give it to you free. Because at that point, they're clout chasing. They're trying to get close to them or find a way to be their buddy. And, everybody to each his own. But you're not setting a standard or setting the bar. When these athletes, other people go out of state or out of town, they're paying. They're not going to Miami and not putting up the money to get a room because there's another person in the room that's going to spend the same money on that table. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where it almost gets – and granted, like, there are cases where you take care of it, but that's when you're bringing an artist in, and that's part of their rider. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're coming to host for us. Cool, we're going to make sure that your bottles are taken care of and you're getting paid your fee. Yeah. But we're here to throw an event. Yeah. We're here to throw something for everybody to enjoy. The other side to that is – becoming, some of the genuine relationships that I have with athletes or celebs or people like that, I don't look at it like that. I don't label them as that. You know what I mean? Like that's their occupation. Yeah. That's what they do. You're a former D1 athlete. Yeah. Me, I play sports my whole life. I chase sports. That's what led me to BC. Yeah. I ended up trying to walk on when I got there. Yeah. And playing football. And you almost can relate to them because you're like, okay, like I understand the struggles that it took for you to get to where you got to.
100%.
You know what I mean? And there's nobody who could ever really say I've ever asked. I don't ask them for anything. The most I probably asked any of them for anything for was like a jersey.
Facts.
For my office or my wall. Yeah. Like something I could tell my grandkids and my kids
100%.
A story about.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because I respect them as men. It's like, hey, this is your occupation. You have family you have to take care of.
100%.
What do I look like as another person trying to get in your pockets?
Yeah.
You got to bring something to the it's like bring something to the table, right? Be valuable. Be somebody that, there's 1,000 people out there trying to grab at them. What do you bring to the table that adds value to their life? Yeah. You know what I mean? Not what am I taking? Because I'm gonna be me regardless. When I go home at night, I gotta still feed my two daughters.
Facts.
So I'm not looking for any handouts. And I feel like a lot of people they're fans. There's dudes who are like actually grown ass men that are like fans and they get starstruck, and it's kind of sickness sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Big time sickness. No, I think like the cloud chasing thing for me, it's like I don't know, man. Like the thing that I don't like about it all though is like in reverse, right? Like they know what your occupation is, right? And how you make money, right? I think there needs to be a balance between, all right, let me take care of some people. And I got a lot of guys I take care of like willingly, 100%. But
that's based on your relationship.
Exactly, on the relationship. But then there's other times where some of these other guys come in the picture and you're like, all right, cool, like I'll take care of some of this. Yeah. But you also, like, I understand what your occupation comes with and the salary that you make. Right. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to discount what I do, you know what I mean, and try to penny pinch me over a bottle. Like, come on. You know what I mean? So
and it comes down to the culture. It comes down to how it was established. It almost becomes like a virus. It's passed on. It's like, oh, I got this free from this one this time. And then you almost end up with, you have promoters. I never considered myself a promoter. Yeah. That was the thing too. I always told you that too. Yeah. You were talking like, because you start having them fighting over it, and then it becomes who's gonna do what for me? Yeah. Who does it? Who's gonna give it to me? If you're not gonna give it to me, cool. I don't call you again. All right. Yeah. But it only can affect you if you're a fanboy. If that type of stuff bothers you, and they're choosing to go elsewhere for free or XYZ, cool. But if you're about that money, like how we talk about, and this is my occupation, and I'm turning it into a livelihood and all of that, then you gotta respect it.
100%. 100%. I'm the same exact way. These guys, like, I feel like they're kind of numb to it because, like, whenever they don't even care. Like, it's a mirror. They don't even look that way. Yeah. It's like, that's why I like the fact of the matter of like me trying to partner with guys that are about the business, are about the bag, are about like just trying to focus. And I think it's a healthy balance for myself because it's hard sometimes not to get caught up of like, I got to do for these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
at the same time, because they're like,
it,
exactly. And they're the guys that be like, yo, listen, nah, we got to make money this night. Let's pull it back a little bit. We'll do this, but we got to pull it back a little bit. You know what I mean?
So understand, and you don't sink yourself.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And then you also have to keep in mind a lot of those dudes who have these athletes popping out, bro.
Yeah.
They're rich kids.
100%.
So that's another thing we got to clarify is that a lot of these promoters that these athletes get caught up hanging out with and they think are cool and from Boston, they live in the North Shore. They live in the South Shore. Yeah. They never went to high school in the middle city of Boston. Like, didn't grow up here.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it's like they have the money to play with. They're like, cool, I'm gonna do that. To each his own. But it's like, again, he doesn't care about losing that $2-3 grand on those bottles because to him he's like, oh, I'm just gonna pay. I'll pay it off. I'll take it out of expenses. Yeah. And that's really what, and that's what it comes down to. But then again, it's like, but it's they're utilizing their promotion company within the building.
Yeah.
And then that's how that whole opportunity rises. Yeah, that's how everything happens.
What was the biggest night you threw for
Boston?
Yeah, for Boston.
Boston,
a celebrity. Yeah, or a celebrity, Boston. Tell us, man. The people want to know, man. The people want to know.
Well, the biggest event I ever was a part of or seeing with my own eyes in Bijou, I would say, is when Diddy came. He did the Bad Boy reunion tour, and that was probably the craziest party I've ever seen.
That shit's
The entrance
nuts.
fee at the door was like $200. Tables was like $5-6K minimum. And you had everybody.
Lord.
Where was this?
That's a big night.
Where was this?
This was in Bijou. This was
At Bijou?
What year?
I want to say 2016, 2017.
When he made that documentary, right?
Yep. When he did the Bad
He was
Boy.
popping.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was popping then.
Yeah.
What documentary?
It's like it just reviewed his whole life.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
on
Love
Apple.
Life?
It was on
Oh,
Apple.
okay.
Yeah.
I need to go check that
He
out.
had
I need to go
brought
check that
everybody
out.
back together. He brought Mary J.
Oh, wow.
Mace. They did a whole Bad Boy reunion tour. It was like it was kind of like the closeout to like his music
And
thing.
everything.
And then the Reigns was obviously after that his sons taking over and doing
Yeah.
the thing. And that's actually how I ended up becoming cool with his sons and
Yeah.
that whole camp. And shout out to them. Justin and Christian and my man Vi from the Bronx. Shout out to Dame. But yeah, that was the craziest party I seen being at Bijou.
Yeah.
It was that hands down.
I see. That's the thing. Like, I feel like Bijou was like the place. Like, before we started really going out, like, I heard of Bijou having the biggest stars. Like, I never knew they had Jay-Z, to be honest with you.
It was movies.
Yeah, I knew that.
Jay-Z was in there with Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and all them. And that's what Ace of Spades was like. When he had did the show at Fenway Park with Justin Timberlake. And this is when Bijou had the gold curtains and not the gold bricks.
Wow.
Sheesh.
So this is like OG shit.
This
like
is-
Bijou,
wow.
Bijou was
We
a
young
staple.
boys.
Like
Yeah,
because
you're a young boys.
Bijou set the tone for the city. And they deserve that respect because they really, when no one was accepting hip hop, when no one was accepting fly style like what you have on the Timeless and all that, they opened the doors for being able to wear sneakers in the club and in the whole hip hop culture in Boston with events.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That's
because when we were kids, we would always hear about Bijou, and we'd be like, "Damn, I want to get in there."
It was
we were
very-
kids, so we were
Yep,
like,
and it was very speakeasy. I grew up in the era where it's like social media wasn't your tool. Like you actually had to know the right people. You had to go out there and meet people, and that's Bijou had that. You know what I mean? Like who knows who's the latest what, and they really created that platform for what you got to see in the city right now. Like what you came up in and was able to
actually do.
Yeah, 100%.
"That's
so
crazy."
Going back to relationships and stuff. What separates you from everyone else that's kind of grabbing? I know it's like the genuineness. Obviously, I think like we both approach it the same way.
Yeah.
But like, what is that like? Obviously, I feel like so many people in their ears.
So I feel like what I think separates me from everybody else, and everybody's amazing
Different
in their own right.
Exactly.
But what separates me is I come from nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and me coming from nothing, I'm not highly impressed.
Yeah.
A lot of things don't impress me. I've been friends with. So that's the thing. I didn't become friends with a lot of celebs and athletes being in the club. I was already cool with a lot of them even before
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of my closest friends and somebody who I look up to helped discover Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh wow. That's
you know what I
dope.
mean? Like and we're very close. And I've been around MGK and he's mad humble. And this is like 2013, 2014. You know what I mean? When he first signed to Bad Boy. So like I feel like what separates me is just understanding, like I said, the human beings. It's every man for themselves out here. And if you don't have anything valuable to bring to the table, that's just what it comes out to, right? Like, like what is it that they're going to look back at and be like, okay, what is it that this person can do for me?
Yeah.
What my friend taught me is everything's a transaction in this world.
100%.
Everything we do is a transaction. Whether it's, even if it's genuine, it's a transaction.
We said the same thing.
Yeah, we always say this. We always say
this. You could care about people a lot, right? But everything we're doing is a transaction. We're buying love. We're not buying love. We're buying friendships. We're not buying friendships. But it can come from a genuine place, right? Yeah. And one of the biggest things that I've learned in this world is, what can you give somebody that already has everything? If they're already a millionaire athlete, celeb, a millionaire in finance or tech in this world, like, that's the thing about it too. Like, I've seen different lifestyles. I've been around millionaires who make more money than athletes. Yeah, that I'm cool with.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a fact. So it's like, those are the things of why it all comes full circle. And it's like, I've seen it. So when you see it, it's not overwhelming. You don't get overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And again, the more you're around it, it almost becomes natural. You almost, in your mind, you're like, oh, that's what I'm going after next. And that's how I am. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I need a Rolls Royce. I've been in them. I've driven them. Yeah. I've seen people in them. But that's like, and that's where your mind starts chilling. So when you're business savvy and you have goals and dreams, those type of things don't excite you.
We said the same thing when we were coming here. We're like, I don't get, of course there's certain celebrities, like when you have a stature of them in your building and at your party or event, it's like, all right, cool. Like, you're looking at it from a marketing perspective. Oh yeah. What does that make us look like? Right. But, I don't think for us, like, for me at least, like, I'm so focused on like taking our business to the next level that, like, it doesn't matter who's there. It's like, all right, cool, you helped me this one time and you got something out of it. Now who's next?
And that's what we talked about. We talked about being able to be a visionary.
100%.
Not looking at what is just in front of you. What do you see beyond that?
Facts.
And if you're a visionary who can see your lifestyle or your life beyond today, beyond tomorrow, that's the drive that keeps you pushing. And 100%. I always, and anybody who's close to me knows that I preach that to everybody. And the people that are close to me, they know that's how my mind operates. Like, I think 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the line, it you know, we need to chase after something. That's what life is. And if we're not chasing after it, because think about when we're young, if we're playing sports, we're chasing after this. While we're in school, we're like, okay, I went after high school, now I'm going to college. After college, what is it? So the moment you stop actually having vision to try to chase after goals or dreams, then you're stuck and you become complacent
with everything. Yeah. And it's a tough spot to get out of, man. It's
very stagnant.
Stagnant. Real, it was one of those things, like, when I played football, I really did it. I didn't know. I was like, I was done playing. I'm like, damn, like, this is all I knew growing up and staying out of my neighborhood and, like, trying to be safe. And it just clicked. The marketing thing clicked for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now more than ever, I'm around sports more than I was as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten to experience really cool things, but the great thing about it is bringing people around me to it. So, like, my daughters have been, you know, front seats at Fenway Park.
That's dope.
Got to get the tour of the Celtics practice facilities that season ticket holders get.
Yeah.
You know, being in the rooms with Jalen and Jason at the gala that we put together.
That's dope.
So that's really what's more important to me, becoming somebody that my kids could look up to and be proud of, and create a network for them that as they get older and they work hard, they're able to take it to the next step.
Yeah, facts.
So speaking on your vision, is that like, that's your next step?
Yeah, so my next goal, when I got out of the nightclub scene, it was starting my brand, which is DP Entertainment. And it's not going to be the only thing that comes out of that. I'm going to create different umbrellas out of DP Entertainment, but creating legacy. Growing up, you know, in a single mom household, I had, you know, 5 other siblings, so there were 6 of us. And while going through life and being in college, that's when I was like, you know what, this is crazy. I'll get my degree. When I get out of here, I have nothing I'm coming out of.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to be my job? What is my opportunity? And again, like I told you, and I was next to a classmate whose father was the head of New Balance. So once he was done with school, he was going right into a job.
Yeah, he knew what he was
doing. You know what I mean? And it's each his own. That's his dad grinded to make that happen for him. And I never had that. I didn't know my grandfather. My dad was barely around like that. And so for me, I feel like I need to be that person. And the only way that starts is with myself. And creating legacy, creating you know, a network that with my daughters as they get older, they'll be able to, you know, benefit from, and not benefit from not working hard, right? Like, there's a difference. Like, you know, I don't want them to feel entitled. They're never going to feel entitled. Yeah. They're going to have to earn it, and they're going to have to learn how to work with me. I'm going to teach them, you know, the in and outs, but, like, buying real estate and assets is the long-term goal. and just ownership. And we talked about that. Like, ownership to me is huge, and that's also part of why I tapped out of like being in the nightlife. Like, no knock against anybody who's still in it in whatever age, but you don't want to get to that point where, example, COVID happens and the world goes quiet and shuts down. It's like, damn, what am I left with? Especially if it's your end all be all, you're fucked. So, for me, it's like, what are we doing beyond that? What are we creating beyond that? I would see people spend thousands and thousands of dollars and there was no give back. Like, how is no one creating foundations from the nightclub that gives back to the community that you're eating from? You can't have, we all know this, drug dealers, trappers, strippers, whoever coming to party with you, and then the environments they come from, there's no type of give back to anybody who's less fortunate than any of us to be able to do this. So I actually started a foundation with a business partner of mine where the goal is when I do events or do galas or do stuff like that, the proceeds are going to go towards that, to give back. That's whether dope. It's towards our foundation with the kids, whether it's to, battered women in domestic violence. Like, there's dope. So many ways to give back. And I feel like, it's a lost thing right now because no one's been really doing it, and it's picking up. I feel like COVID has opened a lot of people's eyes. Like, hey, we need to learn how to take care of each other more, because we're the only ones that are going to take care of, our community and the kids in the future.
That's dope, man.
That's real.
That's facts. I just speaking about business in lower income areas. We actually spoke to, I think you know him, Gabe, Zip Run. These guys and Alice and those guys.
Listen, I love them.
I'm telling you, I think what they're doing is real big. Real big for sure.
So a goal of mine that always has been in this city, and it's been hard because obviously all the young black and brown entrepreneurs are we're all trying to figure it out. There's nobody really giving us a rope to be like, hey, this is how you do it. We don't know. We're all just taking a risk, right? Yeah. When the whole George Floyd thing happened and all that happened, and I still actually want to do this, and you were part of, like, I literally have a list of young men that I wanted to get together, because without unity and without having that strength of creatives and entrepreneurs to show other people that we exist within the city and their neighborhoods, that it creates that light that they need to be like, oh, okay, I can do this, or I see it. Like, the fact that they're gonna have Zip Run and an app and all this stuff that delivers cannabis to people from different dispensaries, that's huge. And these kids grew up in the inner city, you know what I mean, and had the opportunity to go to Boston Latin, but they still faced all the obstacles that any kid growing up in the inner city of Boston is gonna face. Is very impressive, and I rock with them heavy. I love what they represent as a group. They all grew up together and went to school together. But any young black and brown male, Latin, Latino, even Asians, I rock with everybody. Like, that's just me.
We rock with everybody over here.
That's how I am. Like, I really am. If I can relate to your struggle, if you can relate to mine and you respect mine, then I rock with you. You know what I mean? I'm not very I'm diverse. Yeah. I love different people. That's just me. Yeah. But my biggest thing is the representation here. There are a lot of black and brown people doing great things, but we just don't get the recognition because the city is very conservative. 100%. And it almost will suffocate you. Yeah. If you allow it to.
Yeah. And no, I think we're definitely, we had a good chat with him and his team, and we're going to kind of develop that relationship, see if we can, help support what mission he's trying to drive and give opportunities to black, brown, males and females in the city of Boston. But I think the last thing for like ownership, and actually, for you guys, we talked about this a while back ago too, but a goal of mine has always been like, I want to own something, right? Like we come from nothing. Like it's hard. With no ownership. Exactly. That's the ownership. Like we're literally always within that. I think it's the cog within the wheel or whatever they say. Like, I don't want to be just another person. You know what I'm saying? And like when I told these guys of like, when I first started Dope, and then when they like helped me kind of take this thing in terms of media and taking it to the next level, like, I didn't want to just be a podcaster, right? Like I wanted to own the network that gave the opportunity to everyone else. You know what I'm saying? And like that's an aligned vision that we all had. And you know, everyone kind of says like we're the next, or we're trying to build like a bar stool, and it's like, yeah, cool, but like we're gonna build our own lane, but we're also gonna be really, really different of how we do it. You know what I'm saying? So
and I just feel like, and I have to say this, I feel like you do a great, and you represent something that's beyond just one entity. And I think that's amazing. Like Dope is not just one thing, it's a full umbrella of creatives. Facts. You know what I mean? And it's been amazing to watch you grow it into that. You know what I mean? Take it to that next level and find the next creatives that are around you and those that are hungry just like yourself, and create that platform. And that's huge, bro.
I appreciate
like I
that.
didn't come into, when I came into the nightlife thing, like you already a step ahead of me. Like I didn't even have that in mind. Like had I had DP Entertainment going into Bijou, might be a different ballgame.
Facts,
you know what I mean?
facts.
But the journey is different for everybody, and it worked out in that way when I left, that it was something that I could build and work on afterwards. But I think it's great that you have that. You have that experience of being there and being, you know, your own boss and creating your own deals, and those type of things are amazing to see. We don't, by empowering others and having a team and seeing people flourish within is like the biggest thing that you can really do for anybody in this world.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know for these guys, I don't want to misspeak, but in terms of ownership, what that means for you guys, like what ultimately you want this to look like, type of stuff. But I know we'll get into you because you're also doing some cool stuff at your spot in Rhode Island. Like man is doing, and we got to talk about your artist over here, man.
He's in the building.
He thought we were gonna let him slide, but yeah, we definitely got some stuff. So
one of the hardest artists out of Boston, and we're going to make this very clear. When I think of artists, I think of global. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about local, who wants to be the local. I'm thinking global, right? And when you think global, you think Travis Scott, you think Drake's, you think, you know, Migos, that type of stuff, that energy that if he went over to China, he went over to London.
They know him.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's what this man represents right now. So I'm
hey, listen. Hey, when
go.
DP vouching for, and I know you don't put a lot your name on a lot of things, so it has to be correct. It has to be correct. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna do some activations. We're gonna do some parties with the man. So we're gonna seize energy. We're gonna seize energy. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. But I know I was.
What do you guys feel about like ownership and like how do you guys feel about Dope?
So, I mean, for me, I could say coming from, so I'm originally born in Lebanon, of Armenian descent.
Love my Lebanese, man.
Yeah, you know.
Real talk.
They're lit over there. But coming here as a kid, obviously, like, my family didn't own nothing. So, like, you know, being able to, like, have opportunity and just, like, connect with people that are like-minded. I got really blessed to meet guys like these two right here. And, to be able to like share visions, and so having ownership is like that's the main goal, and like to leave something for generations going forward, so we can actually lay ground here. Because like I don't want to just be here to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just enjoying better life here. It's like no, it's like want to leave something that lasts. So at least for me, ownership is like that's the main goal.
I love that,
facts,
man. That's huge.
That's
man. Shout out to Lebanon.
Shout
out to Armenia.
Big time.
I love it, man.
That's dope.
No, but following that, you know, I agree with what you said. Like, there's no model to follow. You know what I mean? So, like, I grew up with Adolf. And I grew up with his brothers and his family. So I saw his older brother grinding. I saw him grinding. I'm just like, I'm an opportunist. So, like, I can see what's going around me. You know, I had no one to follow, so I followed my friends.
That's
and,
dope,
you know,
bro.
had a great friend and got into this. And now, you know, we're all partners. And,
you know what?
That's ownership
amazing.
of
You know
Dope.
what's crazy is like the people that I've aligned myself with, and like everyone always thinks that like I'm about me, right? Or like I built this business around me, and like truthfully I never really get a chance to like air this out just because like we're always so focused on building going forward. Like my other partner in nightlife, Gene, right? Like literally right hand, like helped me literally go at every venue. These guys were partners even before they knew they were partners, right? Because they came out every night without pay, without anything, without asking for a piece, just to be there support. And so it's so easy for people, and like I said this very, very early on. I told this story on Snacks' podcast that Kareem denied me one night to get into a club, right?
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I told myself, and that's my guy, rock with him heavy. I told myself, like, I'm going to make sure people respect my name. And, like, when I show up, people actually know who I am, right? And so, like, that was my basically my goal, to get respect from the people like you, Ace, Jeff, all these guys, Dimmy, and, like, the hectics of the world. So once we did that and checked that box, I was like, okay.
Like, what's next?
Yeah, what's next? Like, I can't just be another promoter.
Yeah.
And when we started thinking about doing the media outlet, right? Like, I looked at him kind of being like the vision, the person of reason, right? And then him just being like the goer and getter. Like, this dude, like, doesn't stop. You feel me? Like, it just really doesn't stop until he goes. You know what I mean? And, like, you have to, like, as you said about team, you need to have people around you that basically bring skills to the table that you don't.
Exactly.
Right? Because, like, I'm a person that says, let's just do it. Let's just go in. Like, and you can't always do that. And so, like, that's why when he says, you know what I mean? That's why when he says, all right, let's slow down. Let's think about it. How can we scale in it? Yeah. It's like, all right, cool. And so, like, and then when you have these perfect pieces, it's like, I'm so confident of where we're going. And that's why everyone looks at me, I'm mad loud on the internet, but don't confuse my loudness. Understand, like, it's backed up by some stuff. You know what I mean?
And you're confident in your team, and you're confident in their abilities, but that's also goes a long way of being a leader. Like, you can have leaders amongst other leaders. Like, that's how things get done, right? Like, that's how championships are won. Like, I think of life moves, business moves, all of these things. I compare it to sports. Like, if we play sports, whether it's soccer, football, basketball, baseball, those skill sets that you learn when you're coming up and doing it as a kid is actually stuff that can help you as an adult and going 100%. Into your adulthood, because without chemistry, you have nothing. If you don't have the proper chemistry and you don't put people in position and where they can flourish at, then what are you doing? It's going to crumble.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. That like, for me, like, team ownership, like, trying to build something bigger than ourselves is literally what we're striving for. But this Rhode Island thing, man, I can't skip over it, because this dude is another project. What isn't he doing? What isn't he doing?
Oh, man.
And we talked about this, about you wanting to leave your mark and have representation, ownership. And I can already tell, you didn't tell me this answer, but I can already tell, no way DP's promoting this venue without something in there. That's for sure.
All right. So what he's referring to is I have the opportunity of being a part of a new gentleman's lounge strip club going up in Providence. This place is called Silhouettes, Rhode Island. And, you know, I got blessed with the opportunity of just being myself, right? Yeah. Like, the gentleman who brought me on board, who's one of the owners, he said he had been watching me for 2 years. So this is around the time that I had already left being in Bijou. Yeah. And I was doing some of my one-off events where I did, you know, we did Jaylen Brown's birthday weekend in Gala. I did an event with Chantel Mayo. Shout out to them both. And he reached out of nowhere. And he had other people reach out to me that knew me as well, that he was connected to down in Rhode Island. And I almost thought it was a hoax. I was like, okay, what is this? Like, we're in the middle of a COVID and a pandemic. Who's opening up a spot? Yeah. And, you know, Shay, he's very low-key. He's out the way. Shay, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. But he's an OG, an older person who literally is a version of you and I, where he was doing parties and concerts back in the early 90s with, like, Biggie. Jay-Z, like, and I seen it. You know what I mean? And when I seen it, I was like, oh, he's the real deal. And this opportunity came about where I was able to come in with marketing and branding as the director of marketing and branding and manager of marketing and branding for this spot. And without my experience of being in Bijou and watching how the everyday business was ran, when I had the opportunities of being around the owners and management, I don't think I'd have been ready for it. Yeah. And so I was ready for it, 100%. And, you know, all the women, all the females, all the bottle servers are handpicked. We even went as far as making sure that the dancers that come to the club are not from here. Wow. So we're trying to create an experience that has never been in New England at all. Most strip clubs in New England are owned by white men or don't have a culture to them. You'll go in there and it's playing, like, rock and roll music. I'm not doing it.
That ain't it.
Like, it's not cutting it.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been. I can honestly say I've been to the strip club twice out here in New England.
Yeah.
I would never do it, right? Like, even when I had this meeting with Shane, we talked about, I said, what's your vision? Like, I already knew what my vision was of a strip club.
Yeah.
And the gentleman's lounge. And I told him, I told him straight up, I said, I'm not bringing my people I know in my network, whether it's ball players, whether it's celebs that are in town, whether it's my friends from my neighborhood, to come spend thousands of dollars to come see a chick that has bullet wounds in her knees, or a bare belly, or like, we're not doing it. Like, no disrespect to them, but like, that's just not it.
Facts.
From my experience of being in different cities like New York, and being in Miami, I went to my brother Dizzy brought me to Tootsie's before for my birthday, and anytime I go to Miami, I'd rather go to the strip club than the club.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
And it's straight up, because you're getting everything you want in that spot. And I don't know creep shit, but like, you can go in, you get food, you have hookah. I can buy a bottle, and I'm eating, and I'm chilling, and I'm throwing ones, and everybody, and you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, right? Like, so we've never had an environment here where you're getting the club excitement with the dancers, because again, no knock against it, exotic dance has been around since King days. Like, it's part of entertainment. It is what it is. So we just want to create an environment that separates it. It's almost like the entertainers are there, but you're getting all the full service in this one building at the same time. So you're getting bottle service, and the bottle services are all 10s, hand-picked. You know what I mean? Like, you know me, I've been in the nightlife scene, so I know who's who. I know who has the skill set, and we take pride in that. And then they're going to be exclusive to us. Yeah. So for most of us know, like, a lot of bottle service bounce all over the place. The only place that ever really made it that I seen it where like you couldn't work anywhere else was Bijou. And then when the Grand came about, they made sure they handpicked them, and they made sure that, hey, if you're working for us, you're working with us.
Our venues
and there'll be incentives. If we're all making money together, everybody wins. So, our bottle service will be exclusive to us. We even took it a step further, and we have resident DJs from different states, something that's never been done here. So we have DJ Spin King once a month.
Coming in,
We have DJ Cass out of New York once a month. DJ Pereira out of New York once a month. We had to put DJ Cisco in the building. Yeah, he's out here. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing too. We didn't want to whore it out. I'm just being honest. Like, there's a lot of people who feel themselves as DJs in this world, and they're like, "Oh, I'm the man." It's like, no, bro, calm yourself down. Yeah. A lot of y'all can't even bring 100 people to a club by yourself. Posting a flyer doesn't do it, and that's a fact. Like, it is what it is. But I've seen it. I've seen people be like, "Oh, put me on this," and then you'd be like, "Okay, how many? What did you sell? Who came and bought a table and said, I need to come see you?" Yeah, nobody. So how do you value your Instagram? You could have paid for your following. For all I give a shit. Yeah. So we almost wanted to create an organic thing from scratch. That's dope. We even have the Magic City DJ who's gonna be coming. Wow. Like, we're not playing.
Big investment.
Oh, this getting me excited to go to Providence.
I'll book it to Providence.
It's right here. And that's the thing. That's what I realized, like, being in LA and being in other cities, if you really look at it, like, they're bigger than where we're from. So, like, you can be in Miami, but the spot's 30, 40 minutes away, and you're still in Miami. You can be in LA, downtown LA, but the party's really up in Beverly Hills. That's 35, 40 minutes away, depending on traffic. So me being out there during COVID, it really helped with this decision, because I was like, you know what? People are going to go wherever it's hot. If you make that shit hot, you know what I mean? They're going to go. So it's like, if I could get my Boston heads to come down. I'm cool with a few Rhode Island heads. We're going to bring something to Rhode Island that they've never had before. And then you also have CT in New York, who's still close enough that they'll come down. So, that's a goal. We're trying to create a staple where people are coming in just to come in. And you see it. Rappers and stuff will go to different strip clubs and spots in New York just cause. And trust me, they're paid to play. Like, they're not going to Atlanta strip club and not putting money. It'd be embarrassing. Yeah. So, like, off the gate, our first week, we're bringing Dave East. So Dave East is hosting for us. And then following Dave East, the following week is 50 Cent. And we're doing 50 Cent's Branson promotion for his company. So 50's coming to host the strip club. And then Dream Doll after him. So we're coming out the gate going crazy.
He's coming in hot.
Going crazy. And there's a lot more that's gonna be in the works that's gonna pop, and the people that we have host. We're super excited about it. Shout out to the whole team at Silhouettes. All the women that are working with us at all gonna, they were all respected. That's the thing too. We're empowering them at the show. And I'm here to just put my marketing and touch on it. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm telling you, you're again, like I said before, you're someone that just understands and thinks 4 or 5 steps ahead. Like the fact that you're now wanting to go, or you now figured it's the right time to partner right with an establishment like that, because you understand that COVID is going to change how people party, right?
100%.
Like you've already looked at that. Me too, and I've understood that.
You know what I mean? Even triggered it? What was OnlyFans?
Facts.
Talk to me, Ado.
Facts.
What was OnlyFans?
Facts, bro.
OnlyFans became a platform for women making money during COVID.
Yeah.
You had quarantine strip things on the internet. And no knock against it. Our generation is just very open.
Yeah.
We're more advanced than the people that came before us.
Yeah.
That have, very conservative. And no knock against it. Like, there's people that are conservative, but those same people that are conservative not being true with themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen conservative people go to a different state and wild out. And then you're looking like, hold on.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't do strip clubs.
Yeah.
Oh, no, only in Boston you do that. You put on your blue blazer and your button up, and you try to act like you don't do that. So for me, it's like the people who don't care what other people think about them are the people that advance the furthest in life. And I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how much girls is making off OnlyFans?
Oh my God. I mean, there's
like
people,
$240K a month.
That's what I'm saying. There's some people that
Now,
are making really a bad
I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Like, I would never allow my daughters to do that. Yeah. But that's not my fault.
Oh, exactly. But you see,
they're not growing up that way.
100%.
So everybody has their own things they have to pursue and chase after. Like, if that young lady feels she needs to do that to, compensate for her lifestyle,
that's fine.
More power to her.
Great. But the thing is, I think the and not to go into depth about OnlyFans, but we're not going to do that. But like, it doesn't have to be this preconceived notion of the type of content. Like, I know there's some people that do like actual educational content, but they're just using the OnlyFans platform to just gate the content there.
So now you know what I'm gonna put, and I'm gonna put this gem out there for those people. What they're doing is they seen OnlyFans popping. But OnlyFans has the notion of porn and nudity.
Yeah.
So you can't really take your brand and try to put it on there because that's what it's generating.
Yeah.
You almost have to really create your own platform
to go do
a website. Create a website and make that website have subscriptions and your land page.
Yeah.
Like, that's the next step for those creatives. You can't really try to. It's like a gold rush. You can't just come in and try to rush and be like, yo, on OnlyFans, I'm gonna drop all my merch on there. Nobody's coming on there to look for clothes. What are you doing? And that's what you just got to know what market you're doing. And that kind of confused me when, like, celebs and stuff, and that's where people get confused. Like, they have these celebrities who they're following in their moves, and it's like, no, that celebrity is on OnlyFans because they got a deal.
Yeah, facts.
And you don't realize they got this deal. And they came to that celebrity and was like, hey, we're gonna give you $3 million. Plus whatever you make off your OnlyFans so that you can help pump this OnlyFans for us and we can start getting creatives on it because they know that the shutdown for their thing is coming.
Yeah, 100%. It's a ticking time bomb. Yeah. 100%. Because, again, like, people found a hobby during COVID to sustain a little bit.
We're in the new Prohibition era.
Wow.
I'm a huge person on Art Deco, 1920s, 1930s. Wow. Like, that's me. I love mob movies, all that type of stuff. We're in the new Prohibition. The ones that are taking the calculated risks are going to survive.
Yeah.
And the ones that are complacent
are
going to be the people that's lost after COVID.
I mean, it's coming. It's around the corner, man. It's around the corner.
Think about it. Like, weed is the new alcohol.
Yeah.
Why you see so many dispensaries going up?
Yeah.
All the new, like, it just is what it is. That's what we are. We're in the new generation Prohibition. So finding your niche, finding what it is that you're capable of doing is the best time. This is the best time to hone in on those skills and go after it. And that's why, like, again, I was just blessed with this opportunity to come my way. I'm not turning that down.
Can't.
You know first of all, you know how many millionaires are walking around that own strip clubs? That people, it's an asset.
Major asset.
Somebody's going to do it.
Yeah.
So my hands don't have to be as dirty because why? I'm just handling the marketing and branding. That's what I do anyways.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what I mean?
So,
it fits
perfect
for
position
100%.
for you. Damn. Yo, man, DP, I felt like I was in a class, business class.
But this I sat back and listened. I didn't say a word. I was like, all right.
This is the first time I went to class and actually didn't want this shit to end. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all my life in college, I used to go to class like, damn, like, is this over? You know what I mean? So, DP, I appreciate you, my brother, coming on. Spreading some knowledge, bro. So much shit I didn't even think about. We took a lot of shit that we're gonna apply. Trust me,
for sure.
When you can take free advice, you know what I mean. You take it. You take it big time. But yeah, I appreciate you, my brother, coming on, sharing some love, guys. Make sure to follow this man, DP. Tell them where they can
man,
catch
so you guys I'm always on Instagram.
Yep.
At DP617. Also follow my foundation page for the kids with my business partner Lex Mongo.
Yes.
At 4TJ Foundation on Instagram. Go follow my artist at Juxie.
Yes.
Juxie, what is it? Underscore at Juxie. We in the building. And also make sure y'all go follow the most talented person I've heard on a violin ever in my life.
Big facts.
At John Violinist. He just recently got chosen as the top 100 black creators on TikTok, which is an elite program. So follow him at John Violinist on Instagram and at TikTok. Big things in 2021 and beyond, man. And shout out to Dope Promotions and Dope and everything y'all got going with y'all podcast platform. And
appreciate it,
hey, man, listen, Boston's about to open back up.
I'm telling you,
country's
we outside, big time. That's big time. But again, I appreciate you, DP, coming on. Everyone, please make sure you guys go follow him, follow all of his initiatives, projects, foundations. The man does it all.
Man,
make sure to like, subscribe, share this podcast. Phil, is this going to be also on YouTube? Oh, you guys better hit that. Yeah, we need to go subscribe to the YouTube. Yeah, subscribe.
Go comment, all that, man.
All that for sure. DP, appreciate you guys as always. We'll see you guys next week. We out.
Thank you.
She make it rain for me. Shorty wanna dance with me. She wanna dance with me. It's just. Baby girl, make it shake for me. Oh no, in my section. Oh no, in my section. No. She don't have a man, she said she independent. She